So then let us begin to understand what it is that has been bothering us about this. You don't want to say that he's lying because you're afraid you can't show it, right? I know, because you don't have a, forgive me, you don't have a prior statement, huh? You don't have a document to impeach with, true? Yes? But you have something bigger, bigger than that, more important than all of that, because you see, prior inconsistent statements can always be explained away, can't they? I was nervous, I was frightened, I was scared, right? But what do you have in this case? Bigger than all of that, always bigger. What? The rule of what? The rule of probability, which takes account of the self-interest, which takes account of the a reason to lie, maybe, if we can do it, and which also takes account of taking the defendant's theory at its flood. Does it make any sense in the world that a man who would take such steps, such care, understand, to make it look like an accident, would do all the things they claimed he did? We are beginning to formulate a whole new theme and theory, aren't we? But first we must test to see whether we can sell it, right? Before we can do it, true? How do we test it? How do we decide? How? We mentally run over in our minds many things. The direct and cross of our own witnesses, but we want to save that for later, because that's a simple task, we think. Let's see if we know how to really do it, but we'll see. But with all of that, conceptually, it's a simple task compared to the structure of the direct, or withdrawn, of the cross-examination of Crow and Wilson, Wilson and Crow. True? Because if we can solve that problem, if we solve that problem, you'll answer the question of whether we can win the case if they're believed a whole lot differently, won't you? I know it's true. You'll no longer feel emotionally necessary to answer it the other way. So we're beginning to see a lesson in what is it? It is what I've been trying to say over and over again in the basic program. It is this. We must never get emotionally involved. Never get emotionally involved in a case. You follow what I mean? When we decide we're for the plaintiff, because the plaintiff has come to us and we want the money, then, you see, we begin to call it long and short depending as we believe we need to. For us, it must be meat. Meat on the table. We must ask ourselves the question, can we win this case if Norman Crow and George Wilson are believed? When we ask that question, we must answer it in the greatest detachment. True? Without cognizance of our needs. The answer to that question is on the odds, no. Isn't that right? That's what let me, on behalf of the insurance company, open like that. And you know, and I know, that following that first opening for a plaintiff, if somebody opens like this is, it's Dunkirk, isn't it? I can't see your faces, so I do not know if I'm making any sense at all. We must answer the question of whether we can win the case if Norman Crow and George Wilson are believed. We must answer that question without regard to whether we believe we can shake their credibility. For if we don't do that, we are nothing more than the client. We are not a professional.